Haaland's a robot, Arsenal top of the league. This is NFFC Owen Football Show. Next. Hi guys, welcome back to the new video. So today is NFFC Owen Football Show episode 2. Since the last video did so well and got 295 views, I'm going to do another episode. Today we're going to be on about the weekend's football action. Obviously, the weekend after I recorded, I uploaded the first episode, we had no football due to Queen Elizabeth first dying, there was obviously nothing to talk about in the world of football that week, so that's why I didn't do an episode. So today we're going to do an episode. We're going to cover the Premier League action at the weekend, and we're going to cover the Championship action. Now there's no VAR decisions to talk about this weekend, which is good. Anyway, please make sure you like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. And now let's get into the football action. We're going to start with the table, so we're going to start with the Premier League and Championship table. So, the Premier League table, Arsenal top of the league by 1 point, Spurs and Man City are 1 point behind them now. Spurs with an amazing win against Leicester, we'll talk about that because of one man, Heung-min Son. Brighton in the top 4. I mean, what a start Brighton have had. I think they could fall off. They've even got a game in hand over like Arsenal, Man City now, but I think Brighton could fall off as they've lost their manager, haven't they? So, but it'd be interesting to see how Brighton do without Graham Potter as their manager. And then you've also got Manchester United next, and then you've got Brentford as well, who are in and around those positions. You've got Fulham as well, they've started the season really well. Chelsea as well. Liverpool haven't started the season as we thought it would be. I think there's still some hangover there from last season. Newcastle, Leeds, Bournemouth, pretty alright starts. Everton obviously got the first win at the weekend. Southampton, Villa, Palace, Wolves haven't really started that well. And then the relegation zone, West Ham, Forest and Leicester. Forest and Leicester play each other in the next Premier League game week. Anyway, that is the Premier League table. Get your thoughts on the Premier League table in the comments, and get your thoughts on how your team has started in the comments down below. Now, here's the Championship table. Now, if you don't want to watch this part, you can skip it down below. I'll have timestamps in the description of sections of the video. Anyway, Sheffield United lead the Championship on 23 points, and then Norwich, and then you've got Reading, Burnley, Sunderland and QPR occupying the playoff positions. Just outside the playoff positions, you've got Blackburn, Rotherham, Bristol City, and then you've got Watford, Luton, Wigan, Millwall and Stoke virtually, and Preston, Swansea virtually mid-table. Then you've got Birmingham, Cardiff, Blackpool, Hull and West Brom languishing over the relegation zone. Then you've got Middlesbrough, Huddersfield and Coventry City. Huddersfield have got a game in hand, Coventry have got 3 games in hand. So really, where Coventry are is not really an accurate position where they are. But anyway, we're going to talk about Haaland, Arsenal being top of the league, and Heung-min Son's hat-trick against Leicester, and maybe touch on a couple more games next. Now, Manchester City faced Wolves. Man City going into the game were second and Wolves were 14th. And it started off really well for the Premier League champions, with Jack Grealish getting the goal in the first minute, assisted by Kevin De Bruyne. And then it got even better for the Premier League champions, Erling Haaland with yet another goal to add to his tally of goals in the Premier League. I think that's 11 now in 7 games. The man's just a robot right now, he's unstoppable. And I see people that call him tapping merchants, but really, Erling Haaland's just such a good player. The way he scans the box of space, gets into positions where he can score goals. And I think you can't really call anyone a tapping merchant, to be honest, because I think if you're a tapping merchant, it shows that you're aware in the box, you're always scanning for space, and really, there's nothing wrong with being a tapping merchant. You're literally just good. It shows that you're good at finding space. And then Collins shocking challenge on Grealish. Always a red card. I don't know what he was doing, but he got a red card, which made Wolves Day even worse. And then Mahrez gets the third goal. Yeah, it's another assist by KDB. What a player he is. Assists, he's such a good player. Assists, he's the assist king. But anyway, that moves Man City into third on goal difference because they were level with Spurs, and Spurs obviously battered Leicester 6-2. Anyway, the Spurs, Man City, I think if they will end up winning the Premier League, they'll walk the Premier League with Erling Haaland. The guy is just a machine at the moment. Like, he's unstoppable. Who can stop him? That's the question, and we're going to have to find out in the next couple of weeks. Cause if no one can stop him, how many goals could he score? I could see him breaking Mohamed Salah's record of 32 goals if he stays fit the whole season. The big statement there is if he stays fit. If he stays fit, he'll break Salah's record, in my opinion. Anyway, let's move on to Spurs versus Manchester City, or Spurs versus Leicester. Now, Tottenham versus Leicester. What a game of football that was. Yuri Tielemans took lead through a penalty which was saved originally by Hugo Lloris, but was forced to be retaken because Hugo Lloris stepped off his line. In the 6th minute that was, and then 2 minutes later Harry Kane made it a 1-0, and then Eric Dyer made it 2-1 to Spurs, pulling off the comeback. But then James Maddison had something to say about that and equalised to make it 2-2. What a player he is. Should be in the England squad the form he's on. He's honestly carrying Leicester at the moment. And then Romero made it 3-2 just after half time, and then Heung-min Son come on and scores a 13-minute hat-trick to win Spurs the game and make it 6-2. If you had him in your FPL, honestly, fair play to you. There was rumours it was going to be benched, and the fact that some people even captained him and then he comes on and scores a hat-trick, fair play. But Tottenham, they really look good this season, and I mean, they haven't really been playing the best, but they've still been grinding out results, which is what you got to do. You've got to grind out results even when you're not playing well, even when you even like when against us, we were pressuring them, but they were defensively solid, and I think that's one thing that Conte's got them set up right. They're defensively solid. I mean, obviously they conceded 2, but one of those goals was a penalty, and then there was a James Maddison goal, which is unstoppable, or it was a good strike as well. But anyway, fair play to Tottenham this season. They're doing really well, and I think they'll finish top 4 easily. I think the form that they're on at the moment. Anyway, let's talk about Brentford versus Arsenal now. Now we move on to Arsenal, where a special story was written as Neweri, I don't know how to say it, Ed Ethan Nwaneri, I don't know how you say it. 15-year-old made his debut for Arsenal, coming off the bench as they won 3-0. William Saliba, Jesus and Vieira and Saka getting the 2 assists, and Granit Xhaka getting the assist. For me, Arsenal start the season really well, and they've faced 11th, like, so at the average opponents that they've played teams that are like 11 in the league, whereas Man City have faced teams at like 15th, and I think Spurs was like 13th. That's a stat. But they've started really well this season, really well, and I think they could have got top 4 last year, but obviously they blew it at the end, and I think the start didn't really help them either. But yeah, I think they can get top 4 this year. Brentford, we all knew this was the game that they probably 1-1, but they've got bigger games to win, and they're alright where they are in the table. They'll probably finish mid-table this season. I don't think they'll be a threat to relegation. I think they'll do alright, but yeah, Brentford, I think they'll be alright this season. Anyway, let's recap the other scores in the Premier League. Now, the other Premier League games we haven't covered. Villa 1, Southampton 0, a very boring game that was on the Friday night. Villa just got over the line with a goal from, I think it was Jacob Ramsey, and indeed it was. Yeah, very dull game. Can't really say anything about it because I was listening to Forest Fulham instead. Forest 2, Fulham 3. Disappointing as a Forest perspective to go 1-0 through Taiwo Awoniyi, and then Fulham score 3 goals in 7 minutes, and then Lewis O'Brien, who should be starting, is our best fit midfielder right now, scores to give us a glimmer of hope. Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1. Bournemouth obviously took the lead in that game, and then Newcastle pegged them back through an Isaac penalty. And then Everton 1, West Ham 0. Didn't watch the game, but Everton got their first win of the season. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you like and subscribe. Same for 10 likes on this video. Get your thoughts on your team's game in the weekend in the comments, and where you want to take where your team is in the Premier League or whatever league you are in. Turn on post notifications so you never miss a video, and peace out.